We're now going to work through this example here, which is saying plot the data in the table below. So we have time after exposure in minutes, and we have chemical concentration here. So obviously some sort of science experiment has been taken place. Let's first identify what our explanatory and response variables are. Obviously, this is going to be my explanatory because it's the time after exposure. That's going to have an effect on the chemical concentration. So this is my response variable. So whenever you got time, time is always going to be your explanatory variable. And then the other one will be your response variable because time will have an effect on the other thing. Nothing can affect time. So that means this is our X and this is our Y. Now let's just plot this data to see what it looks like. So I've already come to my lists and spreadsheets page. I've put in time and I've put in concentration and I've given them appropriate labels as well. If I now go control at doc, data and statistics and say this is my time, this is my concentration, just like that, you can see that we get a graph that looks like this. Now, how would we know to use the log Y transformation here? We would refer to our circle of transformations here, and you'd say this looks like this one right here, and therefore an appropriate transformation to make it more linear would be log Y. So, and also in this question, it's telling you as well, but it's important for you to know how it is you'd go about it if it didn't tell you, because here it says use log Y. So that means what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going log 10 of the chemical concentration. And remember, it's assumed 10 there. So chemical concentration. I might just go chem-conc. All right, so let's now give this a go. So use the log Y transformation to linearize your data. So what we're going to have to do is come back to our CAS, come to our new column here. I'm going to call this log the concentration. Then I would come to the next cell. I would go equals. And as you can see, it's going to define it for me. I would go control log. I don't have to put a 10 there because it assumes it. And then I would come over here. I would go variables. And then I would go to, I want to log the Y value. So that's my concentration. I hit enter and it gives it to me all there. Perfect. I can now come over here, come to my Y, change that to log of the concentration. And as you can see, it is much more linear now. Isn't that fantastic? Now let's come over here and see what the next thing we have to do is. It says the next thing is fit a line to the transform data with log Y as a response and X as the explanatory. Write its equation in terms of the variables. So now we need to figure out the least square regression line. A couple of different ways we could do this. We could go menu, analyze, regression, and then go show linear regression. And there's our least square regression line right there. The other way to do it is to come here, go menu, statistics, go stat calculations, go linear regression, a plus bx, put this as your time and change your y as the log. And then you've got your a and your b value there. So 2.46. And so this will be negative 0.04. Okay, so now I'm just going to write down this right here. And we just have to be careful because it says write the equation in terms of the variables. So not in terms of x and y, but rather in terms of time after exposure and chemical concentration. So I'm going to write this as I'm taking log 10 of the concentration is equal to 2.46 minus 0.04 times the time. Perfect. We keep on going. It then says use this equation to predict the chemical composure. I think that's meant to say chemical. Oh no. Use this to chemical composure 44 minutes after an operation. So it just wants the chemical concentration after 44 minutes. To do that, what we're going to do is simply sub in 44 into this. So I'm going to go, all right, log 10 of the concentration is equal to 2.46 times 0.04. And I want to put 44 minutes into that. And I need to now figure out what the concentration is going to be. I, again, would very strongly suggest that you do this using the solve function. So go menu, go algebra, go solve, go control, log, just put this as Y, or you could put it as C for concentration, whatever you like. Let's go C for concentration. Then I'm going to go is equal to 2.46 minus 0.04. Then I'm going to go times 44 because that's what I'm subbing in. I want to solve it for C. I close that off. I hit enter and I'm going to get that as my concentration. So my concentration is going to be equal to 4.01. Sorry, 5.01. 5.01. That's it. There it is. So there you go. That is how you would answer that question efficiently. We've got everything written down. Again, the biggest thing that people forget is writing in this log. They forget to write in this log. And when you're writing down the log, it actually doesn't matter whether or not you include the 10 or not. You could write it as log 10 or you could just write it as log. Either way would be accepted as accurate. Hopefully you found this useful, and I'll see you later.